This
development
conference
areas.
will now be recorded.
Yeah. So web development areas, there is a Angular, okay, the world famous framework, and which is developed by the company called Google. I know that most of you are aware of that. Google is, very popular, so everybody know about that, isn't it? So, so this framework is from the Google, okay. Yeah. Of course, we have several other frameworks that are available in the industry, but comparatively, Angular is one of the most popular product. Okay, the framework that is help us for building client-side web-based applications or client-side applications. Okay, so today we are going to have some discussion about just the introduction about Angular. So what exactly that Angular? Okay, how Angular is came to the picture, and what is the need of the Angular? Okay, so what areas exactly that Angular is going to be addressed? So we are going to discuss some the important significance of that Angular in application development. Okay, so before Angular, how this application development pattern in Angular? Okay, what is the application model? Okay, so in order to understanding this, we should have some brief details about the web technologies. Okay, the web technologies which are available in the market or in the industry from the last several years. Okay, that we should have an idea, and then it is very easy to understand for us. Okay, so usually the technologies which are available in the web development, these are all we categorized into two types. So one is a client side and the server side. Okay, so initially when internet was developed, we have only client side technologies, which is refers the browser. Client is refers the browser. Client side technologies means the technologies which is processed at browser level. Okay, so the technologies which are processed at browser level, that we are going to uh, okay, that we are going to implement for developing the web pages. So initially the people are the using HTML for creating web pages, okay, for structurizing the pages, and later the CSS for applying the styles, and then JavaScript. Especially the JavaScript is help us for building the performing the validations before we submitting data to server. In the beginning, okay, when internet and web applications, web pages are developed, there is no server side technologies with basic HTML. They may create the web pages with some sort of CSS. But the later, in order to developing web based, the real time projects are real time applications, our business applications, our e-commerce applications, compulsory we required permanent data, dynamic data. But HTML, if you use it, is just a static data. It's not a dynamic. It's not programming related things. Just we create the static pages. That's it. But for real-time aspects, banking applications, business applications, and the real-time applications point of view, if you think, all e-commerce projects also, we need a dynamic data. So we need a permanent data. Okay, so we are going to come across several dependencies on the permanently storing of the data. So in order to handle this, so we need a wonderful and powerful technologies at server side. Okay, so with that intention, in industry there are some technologies which was introduced, okay, in the 90s time period. First, ASP from Microsoft. Okay, it is a classic ASP, not ASP.NET. Don't confuse. Maybe some of you are .NET students. Okay, the classic ASP, that is before ASP.NET. Okay, because I know that in 1999, okay, I know about that ASP, classic ASP. I gave some trainings also, and I did some applications using ASP. So in the classic ASP is different. It is a VB script programming. Okay, so JSP, PHP, these are all server side technologies that are helpful for building applications. So server side, they perform dynamic operations, database related activities, permanent data related transactions we can do. So at this moment, what happened? From client side, the data will transfer to the server. From client side, the data will transfer to the server. At the time, so what we do is we are performing valid or validations. Okay, make sure that the data will be valid data. Okay, so what happened? So valid data we are sending to the server, and the server will insert the valid data into the server also on database also. That does not give any problems in the future. So otherwise, so what happened? If it is invalid data, definitely when you are performing operations, it is a reflects the issue, right? Yeah. So that's why the JavaScript was the introduced. JavaScript was introduced in order to performing these validations. So what happened? So we can able to submitting valid data to the server. Okay, yeah. Look at here. There is one small image. Okay, that gives some the basic picture about. Yeah. So in your PC and the browser and the which we'll consider as a client. Okay, so when we are sending the data, before we send to the data, so we are validating the form here, and then the data will be submitted, our form data, and sent to the server. That is a valid or validated data will send to the server. For that, we need a programming, that is JavaScript. Okay, so these are the technologies which is ruling the web development, the history for several years. Okay, so later in 2002, of course in 2000 they started. In 2002 Microsoft is come up with a new technology called ASP.NET. Okay, so Microsoft is come up with a new technology called ASP.NET, which is a there is so many new facilities are added at server side. Okay, right. So this is a situation in the web development history. Okay, client side the people are using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and server side. Okay, these are all some technologies. Now here what we have to understand is the traditional web application development approach we should understand. Okay, so the initially classic web development model, okay, before 2005, okay, the application development model, the regular application development model, that approach we supposed to understand. So how this regular application development model are classic traditional the way of web application model, so we supposed to understand. Okay, so then we can understand that. Okay, what is the problems in that? Okay, so what are the problems in that? In the regular web application model, okay, our traditional web-based application model, our classic web application model. Okay, in that, okay, what are the drawbacks? Okay, the application model are the technologies, client side the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and server side, we use these are all any of these technologies. Okay, with these technologies, with this combination, so most of the people are developing applications. And before 2005, almost from the 10 years, the 10 years from 95 to 2005, that 10 years, these technologies are ruling the world. At the time the people are developing web applications using the traditional web application model, right? What is this model and what is the problem in that? Okay, later how it is going to be addressed. Okay, what are the changes that are happens into the industry, that we should understand before we move forward. Okay, so let us discuss about the web page application execution model. Okay, how the communication system is going to happens into the a client and server, the browser and okay, server. So I hope most of you are already aware of different websites, web applications. Maybe you are browsing the internet and you watch the different websites like Gmail and Google and YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, several the websites. Right now observe carefully, So usually whenever we are sending a request to the server, okay, how we make a request? We just send the, we enter the URL and we can just click enter button. The request will go to the server. Then what server will do? Server will generate the content and transfer back to the client. Okay, and then the browser will present that complete content over there. Okay, this approach we supposed to understand. Okay, and this is a very important for us, so that we can clear understanding about why these client side technologies are very popular nowadays. Okay, that we can able to understand easily with the help of this. Okay, that's why I'm going to address several the important points here. Just observe that. Okay, in case if you have any queries, you'll just write it down in your notebook or cell phone. Okay, I'll give the time for that. Okay, at that time definitely I'll try to address your queries, so no need to worry. Okay, so when I'm explaining, the your queries will be clears automatically at the end of the discussion. Okay, so most of the queries will clear. Still, if you have any queries, definitely I'll try to address. Okay, no need to worry about that. So traditional web application model we supposed to understand. Let us see how to do. So number one, when I send a request to the server, okay, send a request to server. I'm using the technical terminology. In non-technical, we just open the page, a browser, and enter www.facebook.com, and if you press button, and we'll get the response or we'll get the output. Okay, the page is displayed, right? But in technical points or words terminologies that I'm involving here. Okay, please try to follow. So we send a request just by enter, so URL. Okay, so URL, then what happened? The server will process the request. Okay, and it will generate the response. And then, so what happened? Okay, the server, okay, process the request. Okay, and then it send the response to client. So here the client always refers the browser. So what browser is doing? Browser will load that complete content, the page, into the browser. Okay, so browser will load the response, okay, into the browser, so that which is visible to the end user. Okay, so at the time of loading this response, what it will do? It process all HTML tags, and it will present, and it will display table format, images, text, paragraphs, headings, colors, all these things with some sort of JavaScript. Okay, so this is approach. Again, whenever suppose you are open the login page, so gmail.com, just for example, you will get the login page. Then what you do? Again, you enter user ID, password, and click submit button. Okay, so suppose you are browsing the exam results pages. If you observe, so first when I open, first the page will display. After that, what we do? So we entered student hall ticket number and click get results. Again, what happened? The request will go to the server. So whenever the request is went to the server, server process the request, send the response to the client. At the time, it is send complete response. Okay, complete response means the complete page from first line to last line. Complete entire page will be it, this we can also called as a full page. Okay, full page or a complete page will be generated by the server and transfer to client. The client will display. So this is going to be repeated for every request. For every request, so you know what happened? This process is repeated. So here request means either you enter URL, or when you are clicking some hyperlinks, or when you are clicking either hyperlinks. Okay, or when you click submit buttons, or when you are clicking the submit buttons, even that is also. Okay, suppose you enter user ID, password, click submit button or login button, that is also will send a request to server. Okay, so whenever you refresh also, yes, this is another one shortcut, F5. When you press F5, you know what happened? It is nothing but sending a request once again. It just make a request once again, isn't? So these are all the any of these options will make the request. Now you think about suppose you are browsing, you are watching the cricket score on the website. Okay, at that time what happened? So every few seconds the score will get updated. So every few seconds the score will get updated. So whenever the score updated, what we do? We refresh it. Refreshing is nothing but what? It send a request to the URL. It send the request to the server. Okay, once again, what server will do? Server process the request, and at the time of processing, what happened? It generate the complete page. Again, the browser will load the complete page. This traditional approach, will call it as a full page loading approach. Full page loading approach. Okay, every time, every refresh. Okay, so every hyperlink, that entire page will be reloaded. Observe carefully. In cricket score example, every few seconds we just want updated score. So we don't want that the entire page. Even though you display entire page, no one will focus on that. Our target is number of runs, number of overs. We concentrate on the scoreboard, not on the entire application, the entire page, isn't it? So most of the users. But observe carefully. So every time the complete page will be regenerated, entire page is processed by server. Okay, even though whether you required or not, so every time it is a duplicate data, right? So if you consider the page structure, when you take a web page in the real-time applications, we'll have the header part. There's so many hyperlinks and images and logos. Next, there is a set of hyperlinks are there. Okay, in the footers are there. Okay, and we'll have some sidebars. Okay, some advertisements, and in between, actually your structure, the content is there. Maybe here, so we have the corresponding score. Okay, that score table is available, isn't it? But whenever you refresh, every few seconds, what happened? That entire content will be reloaded. Headers will reload. Hyperlinks, navigation bar will reload. Sidebars of the advertisements will reload. Photos will be reload along with your scoreboard. But actually, what we required is we required only scoreboard. That is enough. It is already generated, right? If you generate 100 times also same content, most of the content won't change. Only scoreboard will change, isn't it? Okay, so but in the traditional approach, what happened? The complete page will be reloaded. So this approach is having some issues. Okay, so full page updates or full page loading. Okay, this is a old pattern. So in this full page updates pattern, our old model, a traditional web application model, okay, so we have some issues. So what are the issues? Every time the server need to process the complete page, that will causes some more burden on the server, because it just assume that number of requests, number of users across the world, number of times you are refreshing. Of course, you are using the balancing the workload with the different servers, however you do, but definitely there will be effect. Next, it will be more network traffic. Okay, every time the complete data will be transferred, actual required content is less, but repeated data will be doing more, isn't it? And this will be yes, so more burden on the server and more network traffic, and apart from that, it will take that time consuming process. Okay, it required more time to complete your process. Okay, user should wait for that response. It will take the more time to complete the process. Okay, the complete entire content will be reloaded. Okay, so network traffic is a problem. It creates a burden on the server. Okay, or the resources and all, and plus the time is also one of the primary area. So complete page will be reloaded, isn't it? So this problem, if you want to address, okay, so we have one solution. So without page reloading, is there any option to modify? Then these people are thinking about that. Yes, there is an option. What is that option? That option is JavaScript. Okay, option is JavaScript. Without a page reloading, I can modify the content. That is, in JavaScript, there is a concept called DOM operations or DOM manipulations. Okay, in jQuery, it is a very popular topic. What we do in DOM manipulations? So we are updating the content, updating the tags, okay, adding, removing, modifying without disturbing the entire page structure. We can edit or we can add, we can modify a particular tag. We can create a, okay, we can generate the rows. Yes, we can do. It is possible, is it? Okay, so with JavaScript, if you do, then it won't be complete page reloading does not happen. Only the certain portion, certain area, certain table, certain list, certain paragraph will updated. Okay, but in JavaScript, what is the problem? JavaScript is what? Is it a client side or server side? So we are all know already JavaScript is a client side technology. Client side, we don't have the data, right? Where data is available? The data is in the server side. But client side, so we have only no, just for a validation purpose, JavaScript presentation. We don't have the data. That's why what we do, we depends on the server. We have to send the request to the server. We have to communicate with server. How we communicate? By enter URL or hyperlinks or submit button or refreshing. If you follow this approach, what happened? This is the issues. Then what will be the solution for this? Okay, so that is what we supposed to understand. Okay, for this, in case if the data is available, my JavaScript can do that. Here the problem is JavaScript can handle that kind of situations. JavaScript can do the partial page update, but the problem is the data is a problem. If you able to get the data, then we can address that issue. So that is possible by using a concept called the Ajax. So 2005, first time in IT industry, web development history, it creates a remarkable change. So it divides that complete web development history into two parts: before Ajax, after Ajax. Before Ajax, the technologies are different. After Ajax, the technologies are different. Before Ajax, the performance is different. After Ajax, the performance is different. So very important concept. This is actually in JavaScript, there is a one of the new technique, a new concept was identified by Google team again. Okay, Ajax concept. First time they bring that technique into picture. Okay, by Google team first time. It's just a technique. Okay, using that technique, so we can communicate with server and get only the data. Okay, we get only the data part, not the entire page. Ajax concept is not for getting the complete page, entire content like HTML tags, CSS, JavaScript, not for that. So it will get only the data part. Once you get the data, is it possible to update? Yes, that is what the JavaScript will do. A JavaScript can update the content, modify the content, adding the tags with the data. So we can get the data. Okay, so that data is in XML format. Okay, for exchanging data, they use a technique called XML. Okay, the data they are exchanging into XML format. Okay, so in this Ajax concept, two technologies are involved. One is the JavaScript, another one is XML. This communication model, which is happens in the background, that we call it as a background process, or that is we consider as asynchronous. Ajax stands for asynchronous, JavaScript, and XML. Using this concept, we can get the data through client-side program. That means using JavaScript, you can communicate with server to get the data as a background process, not foreground. It won't reload the page. In the background, this process happens. Okay, so once we get the data using JavaScript, we need to performing the DOM manipulations and update the data. So if you do any operations with JavaScript, complete page won't reload. The entire page won't reload. Okay, so I'll show practical example also. Okay, so that you can have the better understanding. Okay, just a second. Yes, look at here. Observe this screenshot. Okay, this is a generally in my JavaScript classes I used to teach this program. Of course, in Angular also we do this. In JavaScript it is a little bit painful task, but in Angular it is easy. Okay, observe carefully. When I click this button, okay, it loads the department details. Okay, later I'm trying to add one new department. Okay, and next click say add department. The new department is added. In all these operations, okay, the page won't reload, only table will get updated. Okay, JavaScript can do that. We have that corresponding concepts are available, isn't it? JavaScript can do. Okay, only thing is data problem that is addressed in Ajax. Then after that, whatever issues that we have, those are all the issues will be addressed after Ajax. Okay, that is we consider as partial page updates. Partial page updates, okay, is a solution for those problems. So now this is a less burden on the server. So because every time server no need to process the entire page, only required data will send, that is enough. But first time it will generate the page and send to the browser. Next time using Ajax calls we can do. So less network traffic, no need to transfer the entire, okay, less time or quicker, updates are happens, isn't it? This is addressed by partial page updates. So that is happens in the 2005. That is the base for today what you are learning. These are all client-side technologies are came to the picture in 2005. Okay, so after Ajax, the people are more focused on the JavaScript. Okay, so before Ajax, the JavaScript usage is just 5 to 10%. 90% of people are focused on the server side. But after Ajax, the gradually the importance of the JavaScript is getting increases. The importance of the JavaScript is getting increases. So nowadays, everybody is using JavaScript in Angular based applications. Nowadays, all web applications, most of the applications are 90% they use the client side, just 10% they can manage with server side. Even some technologies, even that is replace the 10% also make it automated. The Google itself is introduced one new technology. Recently, I got some requirements on that. Okay, so a lot of demand for these client side technologies. So after Ajax, the people are more focused on JavaScript. But here, after that, they face one problem. That problem is JavaScript is a no not highly powerful programming language. JavaScript does not having more number of libraries like Java and .NET. In Java, number of lakhs of classes are there, thousands of packages are there, number of methods are there. But JavaScript, we don't have that. We just have limited number of items, but there is issue. So that's why some companies are start developing some third-party libraries. So jQuery, Yahoo, Dojo, these are all some libraries which was released in the year 2006 and 7 time period. I have experience with development experience with these libraries. When I was working with Microsoft client in 2007-8 time period, we used to develop some applications using this, isn't it? These libraries, third-party libraries, make your application development is more easy, automated, or predefined methods. Okay, instead of writing 100 lines of code, maybe you write 10 lines of code, it is enough. So these libraries' main target is make your client-side programming will be easy. That is what we have to understand. Okay. Next, in 2009, a beta version was released. A new framework was developed by Google, that is AngularJS. But it is outside, it is released in 2012. Facebook is developed the React.js. Okay, so one of the CSS popular library, Bootstrap, which is developed by Twitter company. So these are all third party. Every company having their own libraries. If you want, you can also create one framework if you can. So the companies are developing these new frameworks. Next to 2012, okay, official okay release happens of AngularJS, which is uses JavaScript. Next to 2012, 13, 14, 15. Next, after 4 years in 2016, Angular team is come up with a one more powerful, of course, server side also some changes are happens in the industry. Okay, so Python, a new language. Okay, Node Express is another combination at server side. Okay, right. Now come to the client side. In client side, Google team is introduced one new product called Angular 2, a new series. This Angular 2 not at all comparable with AngularJS. Angular 2 is not depending on AngularJS. Angular 2 is not extension of AngularJS. It is completely a new product. Of course, once Angular 2 was released, AngularJS gradually it is vanished from the market. Now we don't have the AngularJS. We are having Angular 2 series product with the latest version. Angular 2 is later is updated as 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and now so we have Angular 10. Now we have the version called 10 in our training. So we are going to learn the topics using Angular 10. On the latest version, we'll learn all the things. Okay, from day one onwards, we are learning all the concepts on Angular 10 version. Okay, so that is our the course. Okay, Angular 10, isn't it? So this Angular version, which is a provides more powerful applications and developing applications. And after releasing these Angular 2 series of products, now the statistics is 90% of application we can do with Angular, only just 10% we are doing with the server side. Maybe in case if any of you are already working on the real-time projects, maybe you can experience. Now itself, right now, I'm doing two projects. I'm doing the technical support for US and UK employees. Okay, I'm dealing two projects right now. Everyday Angular. Actually, that was a with different technology. Server side is .NET, but very limited files, just some APIs, 5 to 10%. But every day the major activities are Angular. Okay, so huge demand in the in the market right now, isn't it? That is how the Angular is came to the picture, isn't it? So the Angular, okay, so once it is available, the so many people are using Angular, Java with Angular, .NET with Angular, Node Express with Angular. Okay, so that was one popular stack is there, full stack one. Okay, what is that? That is a mean stack. Okay, this is completely JavaScript relevant technologies. Mean is actually it's an acronym. Okay, so M stands for MongoDB, it is a database. Okay, MongoDB is a database. E stands for server side technology. Okay, Express.js. Okay, and A stands for Angular. Okay, and Node N stands for Node.js. Okay, in this except Angular, the rest of all server side. Okay, so Angular will do it client side. Okay, so Angular is a client side. Okay, and Node Express at server side, and the MongoDB is a database. Okay, the communication is happens like this. The Angular will communicate with Node and Express. Okay, Node is a server side technology, and Express is a framework. Okay, and these two will be communicate with the MongoDB. Okay, MongoDB is actually a database, and these will communicate with the data, and MongoDB returns the data in JSON format, which is alternative to XML. Okay, that data will be transferred back to the Angular, and Angular will handle that. Okay, so that is so Angular, MongoDB, Express, Angular, and Node. That is a mean stack. Okay, it is a acronym. It's a very powerful stack. Of course, Java full stack, .NET full stacks also. That means instead of Node Express, in this place, what we do, we can use either Java or .NET or PHP, whatever you want, you can use it. Okay, and it is become Java full stack or .NET full stack. Okay, whatever you call, isn't it? So, but everywhere the Angular is common. Okay, that we supposed to understand. Any job profiles notifications you'll observe nowadays, you can see that the Angular is there. The involvement of Angular is there. Okay, that we supposed to understand. Okay, yeah. So in our training program, so we are going to focus on this Angular related concepts. In Angular, we are going to learn one new language. Okay, so that language is a TypeScript. Okay, this is a new language. Of course, this language I will teach. Okay, so you no need to worry. For prerequisite for Angular, the basics of HTML and CSS and just a fundamental awareness about the JavaScript. That is enough. Okay, you don't need any other special technologies. Okay, you don't need any other special technologies. You just required only okay basic fundamental knowledge about HTML and CSS and JavaScript. Okay, HTML and CSS and JavaScript. Okay, yeah. And here I just want to share some these course content to you. Okay, yeah. So Angular 10 course content. Like first we'll no, I'm just giving introduction about Angular, just a part of the demo session, so that you have some basic idea. You can understanding how the classes are going on, how I'm explaining. Okay, so plus everybody should know about what is Angular, what course we are learning, what is the information about this. Okay, so first we are going to learn about the TypeScript. Okay, and the TypeScript language basics. Okay, but still we just discussed that history till Angular, but we are not digging into Angular. Okay, in upcoming sessions I'm going to explain that. So the Angular internal features, what are the main primary important features of the Angular, to the all in detail we are going to discuss. Right after that, okay, our journey starts with TypeScript. So after introduction, so we are going to learn TypeScript language. Okay, in that TypeScript from the scratch, I'm going to deal all the concepts which is related to TypeScript, the language basics, functions, some advanced concepts like arrow functions from ES6 and 7 and OOPS concepts and all. Okay, and then we are ready for developing Angular application. This is a part of the training program, part of the Angular, because without TypeScript language, so we can't learn Angular. In Angular, every statement is TypeScript only. It is a new language. It is similar to the JavaScript, so you no need to worry about that. Okay, I will take care of everything. Okay, so that you're supposed to understand. Okay, so I'll give the clarity on why TypeScript is there, even though it is a JavaScript. That all details I'm going to provide it. No need to worry about that. Okay, yes, and then we discuss all the concepts of the Angular, HTTP client server communication system, how to communicate with some live servers, local servers, how you can establish your own server, API server by yourself, and you can practice it. Okay, local server side technologies. Okay, that those are all, we'll do that. Next to routing and the single page application, that is one of the primary key factor. And recently Angular team is more focused on the Angular material. Okay, Angular material is UI material, that is okay, that is also we are going to explore one by one. Okay, and plus some interview questions and all, those are all I'm going to address all these things. Okay, my team will be share this course content to you, so you no need to worry, you just communicate with them, they will share the course content to you so that you can have a look at glance. Okay, so this is around 30 to 35 hours of training program. Okay, Monday to Saturday daily we have the classes 9:30 to, sorry, 8:30 to 9:30. Okay, that is our the class timings usually. Okay, just today I'm giving the introduction part about this training program and all. Okay, especially before Angular, how the technologies, okay, how the traditional approach and Ajax based approach, how Angular is going to be addressed. These are all several points that we have discussed, right? Okay, now this is the time for Q&A. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask the queries. I will address.